Welcome back to Utaghs, your not so serious source in the Utah photography industry. Today we are going to be talking about cost of doing business, or CODB. And I'm sure you have heard this before, and you may not understand what all goes into the cost of doing business. It's definitely not just one thing. You are paying for so many programs as a photographer. You're paying for Lightroom, Photoshop, Adobe, your website. You have a gallery delivery site as well, so you can send the galleries to the clients. You are also paying for contracts themselves, as well as like the site to send the contract to the client to sign. You're also paying for insurance, and on top of it all, you are paying for your gear.
Gear is probably going to be your biggest part, but the mini subscriptions to things that make our life easier, that's what gets you.
Honeybook.
Honeybook, Scroll app to make our carousels look all nice and pretty.
I've never used Scroll, but I bet it would make my life so much easier.
It's life-changing. It's worth the $5 a month, I promise you. But those little mini subscriptions are absolutely what add up. And people don't know. I know that clients, for sure, they have no idea how much we are paying as overhead. They just see our gear and the 1 hour we show up to hang out with them for a session. Today, we're talking about what the costs are behind the industry, the things you don't see that we carry with us on the daily, the things that we are using to make our photographer gig a little easier.
Yeah.
So I have a hot take when it comes to charging. We'll call it lukewarm.
A lukewarm take.
A lukewarm take. And that is that even if you're a newer photographer, you should be charging enough on a wedding day to cover replacing your gear.
Absolutely.
Your main gear, at least. For instance, if you are a beginner photographer and let's say your camera and lens and battery all come together to cost about $1,500. That should be your base price for a wedding day.
No matter how many hours you're shooting, it has to be at least enough to cover your main gear.
Yes, that way if you have a double header when you're shooting on a Friday and something terribly goes wrong, heaven forbid, you have enough to go cover replacing your gear the next morning to shoot that next wedding. You can always rent. However, you don't want to have to be saving for a month to be able to afford a new camera.
Right. And if you have a busy season, say it's October and this happens, what are you going to do?
Panic.
Hopefully you have a backup plan.
Yeah. I mean, the end goal is that you should always have 2 cameras with 2 SD cards and enough to cover you, but we get it. You're starting off new.
Yeah.
We all start somewhere.
Right.
And that's why we have this podcast, is to go over the expenses you should be accounting for, what you should be looking for towards the future, and how to make this industry where we're trying to underprice each other.
Exactly. So I've been scrolling the Facebook groups lately. I know I shouldn't do it.
A dangerous pastime.
It just makes me a little bit mad.
I think all of us have seen it.
I've just seeing like people posting themselves so low or pricing themselves so low. Like nobody wants to take on an 8-hour wedding day for $600.
Nor should they.
Right. You're basically paying your own money at that point to shoot their wedding after all of this is said and done.
I agree completely. I know you want to shoot your first wedding. I know it's really exciting to get in there. However, you need to be compensated financially. Appropriately financially.
Yeah.
You don't need to be undercutting yourself, because I know I've been there. I know how hard it is to value your own work and say, oh my gosh, I remember when I was like, $200 is so much money.
Yeah, I do remember those days too. And then just seeing all of the work that goes in behind the scenes and actually like getting that in your mind, like you are worth more than this, is probably the hardest part starting out.
Well, you end up in the negative.
You do.
You get on that red line because
very easily too.
You're like, oh my gosh, I made $200. No, you didn't.
No.
Because now you have to spend hours editing that you're not getting paid for. You're working for free at that point.
Yeah.
And then you also have your gear that needs to be maintained and you need to upgrade. And you can't afford it unless you're taking on like 10 jobs.
Yeah.
And so that's my hot take. Charge enough on one wedding to cover your gear. But also, when you are paying for all these subscription things as you progress in the industry, you need to know what they cost.
Yeah.
And
you can obviously do like the annual cost of everything and break it down, but sometimes that's just not the easiest way to go about it. So, cost of doing business, like we're breaking it down, editing software. People don't understand that, well, I'm assuming clients don't understand. When the photographer is done taking the photos, they are editing them, but they are paying to edit these photos.
And we all live and die by the Lightroom.
Yeah.
It is our overlord at this point.
And not even just that editing software, but like presets. If you're newer, you don't want to create your own preset to start out.
I have a hot take about presets.
Ooh, what is it?
Okay. I do not think you should purchase presets.
Okay.
There is invaluable knowledge in knowing what each and every single slider does in Lightroom. And I think the more time you play with those, the quicker you'll learn how to edit a photo than buying somebody else's presets.
I agree. I think even if you don't know what you're doing, you should go into the program and just try to mess up a photo.
Absolutely.
Just try.
There's so much value in failing.
Yeah.
I can't say that enough.
That is such good advice.
And you're like, oh, that is absolute garbage. Hot dumpster fire of an
But
edit.
now you know what not to do.
And for instance, I did my first wedding for $100 an hour.
How many hours was it?
6. And you know what I did wrong there?
What?
I didn't charge them beforehand. I had them pay a retainer. They had to
Okay.
pay me a retainer. But I showed up to the wedding without being paid in full.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an open bar. So guess who, after the reception at the dance party, when the liquor was flowing, had to sit in the corner and ask the groom to be paid.
You're just waiting for the envelope of cash.
There was no envelope. They didn't even have cash on hand. He's like, can I Venmo you? And I was like, yep.
Right now.
And I was
Yes.
like, it's $600. And he's like, I can't do that much. I'm like, better make 2 payments.
No.
So don't be me. Do not be the person that charges $100 an hour and then has to beg to be paid before they leave. I completely undercharged myself.
Okay.
I was smart enough to hire a second shooter for my first wedding just to help cover the ceremony.
Okay,
Liter-
that's a step up though.
I was so afraid of not getting the shot that I think I paid somebody $60 to come only for the ceremony and then leave.
Honestly, smart. Just starting out for your first wedding though, like I didn't have a second for my first wedding.
No. I was so scared I was going to ruin it. And I was shooting on a T7i, Canon T7i, which is like a $600 camera with a kit lens.
Where was this wedding?
Oh, this is the part that breaks my heart. It was at Wild Oaks. It's a really good
Oh, that is
venue.
beautiful.
But it had just opened.
Okay.
So none of the ivy was like over the archway.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
brand new. They got a good deal on the venue. They got a great deal on the photographer.
Obviously.
Yes. And the funny part is I still have images from that wedding that I love because I was so fresh and new. This was my first ever wedding.
Yeah.
I had no like shot list. I was just going strictly on vibes.
Honestly, what I would give to go back to that mindset though, like just to not even stress about the wedding day, really just kind of, okay, just gonna show up and take pretty pictures and they're gonna love it.
Yeah, and I still love those images. The clients still follow me on Instagram, and
nice.
it's fun to see like where our lives have progressed in the past 6 years.
Oh, right.
But if I could go back and talk to little old baby photographer me, I'd be like, charge more.
Yeah. Everybody who's listening, charge more. Even if you're new, like if you have a professional camera, like we just said, you have to be able to cover it.
Yes, and some options if cost and like that's a lower cost. If you want to take your first wedding, take it as a second shooter or take it as a shadow shooter where you just come and work under somebody, but you don't have to turn over photos.
Yeah, and that's a good way to learn how to pose a client and to learn how an actual wedding day runs timeline-wise.
And I understand when you're new, it's scary to charge money and be like, oh no, what if I mess up? This is why you need to have enough to cover hiring a second shooter as well. Maybe you hire someone with more experience.
Yeah. Also, going back to the cost of doing business, you need insurance.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a big thing, especially I know a lot of photographers in my circle don't have insurance.
Yeah. I think it's Insurance sounds so hoity-toity professional, like this is what I do for a living.
Right.
And a lot of us are hobby photographers when we start off. So you're like, nah, I don't need
Yeah.
it. But the second you drop a lens or you trip and fall and your camera makes a cracking sound,
Or if a guest knocks over one of your light stands,
which happens all the time. I've replaced many flashes.
but that needs to be covered, and you don't want that all coming out of your pocket.
Exactly. And also most venues, a lot of venues, the higher luxury end bracket, they require you to have liability insurance to step onto the property.
Which is smart on their end because they don't know you.
I get that it's annoying on our end, but I respect it.
And it's not like a crazy expensive thing. You can get minimal insurance for really affordable prices, but I highly recommend doing it.
I'm paying about $40 a month for mine.
Same.
Yeah, so it covers my year should something happen. Again, this is all, unfortunately, we all have to plan for the worst case scenario and just pray it doesn't happen.
But better safe than sorry.
Yes, for instance, when I was in Vegas this past spring, I was with Pose and Shoot Workshop. We were doing the editorials poolside. Well, it was at sunrise. And you know that moment where the sun gets like an iffy point and shadows are kind of not there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tripped and landed right on my brand new lens,
Oh no.
my 70 to 200.
No.
And I busted my wrist, I busted my knee, and I could not care less that I was bleeding. The first thing I did is I sat up and I checked my lens, and I was like, oh, it's okay.
It's
and then
fine.
somebody's like, your knee's not, don't care.
You have insurance for that too, though. Oh, that is terrifying, though.
Oh, I cried a lot that trip.
Especially with new gear. Like, oh, this is so fun. I just got this. I'm excited to test it out. And then, like, what happens if you break it?
$3,000 lens, smash. No. Panic. Thankfully, it was fine. I was fine. Everything worked out. But that was my most nerve-wracking moment.
I could imagine. And being, like, away from home, too, because you're in Vegas. You're not based there. You can't just, like, go get another camera lens.
No, and I have a full day of shoots the rest of the day. It was a 24-hour marathon of photos.
Stressful.
So I was like, can't replace this.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a second camera body on this shoot. So it was just me, my one camera, and my two lenses. I was like, oh, what did I break? So this episode is talking about how much things cost, because you don't when I was a photographer, I had no idea.
Right.
I didn't even know that, like, I didn't think I'd ever be able to afford a $3,000 lens. I was like, oh no, those are for the super professionals.
Me excited about my crop sensor camera.
I love that we all start off with the same, like, base knowledge of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the fun part too, is learning. Like, I know it feels like a lot starting out. Like, I will never get to this level, but you will.
And being a creative, it's really hard to put on your business hat and feel confident in it.
Yeah.
We're so used to being like, I just want to make something pretty.
Right. I just take pictures, but no, it's way more.
It's a business.
It is, yeah.
If you want to do this long term, I mean, there's a reason why photographers, there's like usually a 1 to 2 year crash out period.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they retire after 2 years because they can't maintain this because they're not making enough money to afford their hobby.
Yeah.
And also they get burnt out because they're taking 300 gigs at
Yeah.
$20.
Okay, that's how you get burnt out real quick.
Oh, so fast. And burnout is huge in this industry. It's huge.
Yeah, but like burnout of the creative mind is just such a weird feeling, and you can't really explain it. Like, I've had this happen so many times, me talking to my husband. I'm like, I have so much to edit, and I'm literally just sitting on the couch doing nothing. He's like, well, get your laptop. And I'm like, I can't.
And you're like, no, if I have to edit one more outlet out of a photo, I will cry.
Like, it takes 3 seconds, but for whatever reason, my brain is not letting me do it.
You have to be able to fuel your brain, and part of that is limiting the amount of jobs you take a year.
Yeah.
I think it, especially if you have a family, but I think finding work-life balance is extremely important to maintaining a steady workflow, to be able to show up in your best frame of mind,
Yeah.
to capture people, to still enjoy it, to still enjoy the editing process. A part of that is making time for leisure and not burning yourself out on, oh, I have to take this project. I have to take this project.
Right.
Oh, I have an idea. You're like, that's great. I'm really glad you're inspired, but can you afford to do that? Before you take a job, ask yourself if you have time to edit it.
That is key. Don't get yourself into like an 18 gallery debt because that is going to stress you out even more. And it's just making it not worth it. Honestly, mentally alone, you just blank.
And I think as you get up in this business, you'll start to value your time differently as well, your editing time. And that's a whole other cost parameter to consider is how much am I going to pay myself to edit an hour?
Yeah, that's a really good thing to think about too. And if I know some people use Imagine AI, which is a whole nother cost in your cost of doing business if you do use it. But as for like me and Allie, we obviously don't use it. We edit everything by hand and we need to pay ourselves for that time as well.
And I think Imagine AI is a great tool for culling. It really cuts down that time.
Sure.
For some photographers, for me, it selected all the photos I didn't like.
I've had that too. I've only tried it one time and it just made it more frustrating. So I gave up.
I had a 6-month subscription and I fed it all my images, all my edits, and I even tried it on multiple occasions. And all I did was get more frustrated.
Yeah.
And so for me, I decided I'm way more comfortable, way more efficient if I am the one touching every single photo, choosing every single photo, and then I can, plus I'm doing my retouching anyways.
Yeah.
Might as well just take care of it while I'm in there.
Yeah.
And I think for some people who do more minimal style edits, I think it's a really efficient source. And it does come with a large overhead. I know some people that are paying $500 a month to pay for unlimited edits in Imagine AI, which is great for their productivity levels. It doesn't match our aesthetic.
Right.
But I think there are clients for every type of photographer. And where you invest your time and money is different upon your business metrics. And that's why we're talking about this.
Another thing too that clients probably don't think about is when you're sending them the contracts, you usually pay for the contracts. You're not writing them yourself. So that's another cost that you have to think about. And then also the site to send the contracts to the client if you don't use HoneyBook.
Yeah, your client management systems, they are going to cost you a pretty hefty fee. However, they're what's going to keep you on the ball. If you don't have these systems in place, you're going to get lost in your apps.
Yeah.
If you have to have a separate calendar and a separate email and a separate all blah, 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 blah.
Me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The stress. I could never. For me, it's worth it to have the peace of mind to have HoneyBook where I can lock in, load up my client's name.
Yeah.
It has my notes. It has my emails all right there. It has my contracts all listed into it. It has AI now that it can go in and tell you and simplify what you've talked about. It can record and do captions on your conversation if you need it to.
Okay.
Like, so you can have an hour-long conversation and HoneyBook will take care of you and let you know what was important, the highlights from that conversation.
That's pretty cool. I've seen so many comments like bashing HoneyBook, so it talked me out of it for a while.
No, we love it. This is my other overlord, Lightroom and HoneyBook.
Lightroom and HoneyBook. See, me, I'm just like I bought the contracts, obviously, but then I send them through DocuSign.
Yeah. And I know lots of photographers that do that. And also we have to talk about our subscriptions to our online galleries.
Right. Our websites. So a lot of newer photographers as well. Like if you sign up through Pixieset, it's going to be like yournamephotography.pixieset.com, which it's free, but it's not professional in my opinion.
And you're advertising for Pixieset.
You are, yeah.
So you are literally putting all of your contract time into selling another company.
Yeah.
When if you buy your domain, it looks more professional. It's easier to remember. It doesn't look as discombobulated to your clients, and you're not advertising for them.
Right. And it's a price tag, obviously, and it can get very spendy, especially if you're hiring somebody else to create your website as well.
Which I did. I do not speak tech. See, I didn't I don't have the time because I have children.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, this is something that I'm going to save my coin for and hire an amazing website developer. Yara Creative. Shout out to her.
She's so good.
She did my whole website and I love her.
It's beautiful.
We actually are about to revamp it because SEO came out in the time that I made my website and and I don't understand.
Are you doing like a rebrand or?
She's going to help me reformat my pages so that they're more SEO optimized because I don't know how to talk to Google. I know how to talk to people. So thank you, Sarah, for taking that on with me again.
I'm excited to see how it turns out.
The problem is I really love the formatting of my website. It looks really good.
Yeah.
So I want to keep it looking that way without being too wordy. But alas, the Google monster loves words.
Yeah, yesterday because I use Showit, it does kind of help with SEO and it tells you like little things you can fix, but I was going through it yesterday and it's like, no, you need to say Utah wedding photographer like 70 times. And I'm like, that is so redundant. As a client, I would feel drained just reading this homepage.
I mean, yep. Agreed.
So I probably don't rank on Google, but I don't want to say Utah wedding photographer 70,000 times.
And I don't know what a header 1, header 2, header 3 is. So I
can change them, but I don't know what they do.
This is not my love language. Alas, this is another cost. It is pricey and you just need to account for it. Unfortunately, everything has a price tag. And so I don't want this to be defeating and you to go into photography being like, oh my gosh, who can afford to do this? Because I get it, it's hard, but you will scale as you get more skill. You will scale your company to match that and you can charge accordingly.
Right.
With each new skill you gain, which each new investment you make, increase your prices.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like an annual thing. You can increase your prices whenever you feel like you deserve it.
I would reevaluate every 3 months when you're starting off.
Yeah.
You're like, look, I did a session for $50. Good for me. And be like, hey, that really was a lot of work.
Or just even...
I should charge more.
You should always charge more. But I feel like too, when I was first starting out, I was doing couple sessions for like $150. But then I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I add more photos, I can charge more. So I did that. And I was still booking at the higher price point. And I'm like, okay, well, this is a lot. So I'm going to decrease the amount of images just a little bit. And I was still booking. So you can do it. Even if you think that you are not worth it, you are.
And the clients that value your work will value your work. They're not going to question it. And that's okay. It is okay to be outside of someone's price range. I know it's hard to have to tell somebody, oh, I'm sorry, I can't make your budget work.
Yeah.
But there is another photographer out there that will match it. And they will vibe and they will do well and they will have a business together. Or maybe they will come back later and be like, you know what?
We miss you.
I really want to work with you because I really love your work.
Yeah.
And I will save and can we talk in 6 months?
You can always work with them on like budgeting for payment plans and things like that too. If they really want to work with you, then they will make it happen.
Payment plans are an excellent resource to utilize because I have had really amazing clients. They're like, hey, I don't have the money right now. Where can we start at? We go over a timeline together about, hey, what's a good minimal payment for you to make? And are you okay waiting, let's say 4 months?
Yeah.
And they're usually like, yeah, that works for me. And then you can either do monthly or bi-monthly payments to help them meet it. But you need to be paid in full before you show up to that session.
100%. And not just for weddings. It needs to be you are paid before for everything.
Every contract I send out, the paid due date is the day before, 24 hours before.
Yeah.
Or else I don't leave my house. And I don't want to have to put real shoes on and real pants.
Right. And I know that can detour some clients as well, but it's for their benefit as well, not just ours.
Completely agree with that. Okay. So open this question up to you guys. What are you most worried about when it comes to pricing yourself? Where do you hold your value? Is it in the product you're creating or the gear you have? Because if you ask me, gear has nothing to do with it.
No.
You can have the most basic point and shoot camera, But if you know how to do composition and framing and how to control the lighting, you are going to make gorgeous images. And that's still valuable.
Very.
So learn to use what you got. You don't have to upgrade to the most super whammy gear in the world to make good money.
Yeah.
Just value what you do. Create art.
And like we talked about, learn editing, because editing is a huge part of the process.
That's what makes you stand out.
Mm-hmm.
The way you edit your photos and treat them, that's what resonates with your clients, because we're all so used to seeing the same style. And no shade at Imagine, but they sell presets.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. So even if you are using the AI editing system, you can purchase presets from another photographer and upload them into your galleries, which, good luck standing out.
Right.
If it's up for purchase, there's other people there using it.
And if other people are obviously charging less than you and have the same editing as you,
guess who's losing?
yeah.
That's the hard part, is you have to look at your market. How are you standing out? What makes you unique?
Right.
Where is your editing style coming into play? Where is your shooting style coming into play? These are all the little things that give you inherent value to your clients and to yourself. Because we are all guilty of doom scrolling on Instagram and seeing the people around us being like, oh my gosh, I suck.
Yeah.
I've been in this for 6 years and there's still times where I'm like,
same. And just seeing like the locations around you shot so differently than what you shoot them like. It's like, I want to try new things, but
I want you to see those as inspiration, not as comparison.
yeah.
So learn a new skill. Level up, folks. That's how you get more value into your art, is by learning new skill sets and tailoring it to yourself and your business and how you want to run it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, this is your business.
And you need to be compensated accordingly for it.
Yep, but do whatever the heck you want. We don't have a say. We're just trying to tell you that you deserve to be paid in accordance with it.
Yeah, and undercharging is hurting you, and it's kind of hurting the client as well, because they're expecting different than what they're getting, basically.
Mm-hmm, agreed. Okay, we're going to touch on one more subject before we go. TikTok comment sections.
This is... Should we just read them?
Yeah, hesitation.
Have you guys heard on TikTok that... do you say it sepia? Brown?
Sepia. No.
We're gonna go with that. Okay, sepia editing style is coming back. I don't know if I believe it. I obviously don't agree with it.
I mean, we just had Sepia Gate happen like 2 years ago.
I wonder if it's like satire, honestly.
Here's hoping.
But yeah, like you said, on TikTok, I see all of the time brides-to-be are making videos asking for the local photographers and their pricing in a comment.
Well, my favorite thing is they say, this is my style.
Yeah.
And their inspiration photos are $50,000 photographers.
Yeah.
I'm like, madam.
Or it's film. I see a lot of people with inspo of film photos, but they don't want to pay the film prices.
Mm-hmm. And film's expensive.
It is expensive.
I know that film's really popular nowadays, but like, what's the cost for one roll of film to have it?
To buy the film and get it developed, probably like $40.
And that's for how many images?
36 if you're lucky.
Yeah. So let's round down to about
Right.
30 images.
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Let's be generous.
Right.
Say only 6 of them are garbage. Think about how many photos you take an hour on your camera, on your digital camera,
Mhm.
and how many you use.
Oh yeah, for a regular session, 1 hour, I try not to overshoot, but I'd say between 500 and 700 photos digitally.
How many do you use in a gallery for 1 hour?
50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we are shooting and burning
Yeah.
a lot of them. But we are guaranteed a moment. With film, you don't have that.
Right. You have to be very intentional.
And you have a higher overhead because you have to pay for those development fees.
True.
And so if you were doing an entire wedding gallery on film, think of how much that's going to cost.
Right. plus the cost of the film camera itself.
Yeah. So again, just another thing. But in the comment section of TikToks and Facebook's guilty of this too. Brides are out here with inspiration photos of these high-end luxury photographers that are costing their favorite face.
Arm and a leg.
I don't take those, but kidneys are fine.
I commented on one before. I gave her my pricing sheet and I said way more affordable than an arm and a leg. And she blocked me.
Well, message received. But what I want you to know is in the comment section, hundreds of comments. We're talking 200 comments on this bride's feed.
Within 11 minutes.
Yes. And everybody's like, I'll do it for free. I'll do it for cost of travel. I'll do it for this. I'll give you a great deal. Do you match their editing style?
Right.
What makes
No.
you think you can do it for so much less than these masters? And do you really think that you're going to give them the same exact experience that they're wanting?
Right.
And now these brides feel entitled to have stuff for free.
Exactly.
So guess how they're going to address their other vendors?
And if people are seeing that and thinking like, oh, this style is achievable for this low of price, it's just giving the entire industry so much rap.
We're not racing to the bottom.
No.
And that's what it feels like
It
sometimes.
does.
And that's why, honestly, I don't get on Facebook anymore.
I usually don't, but sometimes I get the itch to just be like, oh, what's out there? And then I am like, oh, why did I do this?
Or just for kicks and giggles, I'll throw it into the comments section. I'm like, I don't give discounts, but here's my work.
Yeah. Promote yourself a little bit to the masses.
Here's my work. Let me know what you think. Never going to hear from you again. I just think, out of respect for the other photographers that you are in the same industry with, in the same location as, you need to look at the market value
Mhm.
and you need to price accordingly, even if you're not a full-time photographer.
Exactly. If you're just doing this part-time or even just doing it for fun, you still need to charge your worth.
Yes, in accordance with your skill set and the gear you're using and the experience you are providing.
And the cost of doing business in your area.
You need to be charging as such. So, because some people this is their whole source of income. This is how they pay the bills.
Yeah. And I
And-
know you might be thinking too, like, well, that's them. Why do I need to care about them? But it's, if you want to grow in the industry, one day you are going to be in their place.
Yeah, exactly. You might be them one day.
One day soon.
And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't compete with $50
Right.
for an hour session. But you know what? I have a really good client experience and I know that I'm doing business the right way and that if the IRS comes knocking on my door, I'm covered.
A hobby or a part-time job or whatever, why not charge more?
Exactly.
You don't need the money at that point. Like, charge a crazy amount. Maybe not over the top crazy, but like charge at least the cost of doing business.
Make it worth your time. Your
Yeah.
time is money.
It really is. Time is the most expensive thing.
So make it worth your time to invest in this business. Okay, we're done harping on you, I promise. We are very passionate about this industry and we want to see everybody succeed and not get burnt out and not get priced out of doing this. And the only way we can do that is if we uplift each other and we help hold each other accountable in this industry because long-term success needs to be invested in.
Absolutely.
So let us know your feedback. We'd love to hear it. It's okay. Being honest is never an issue. And we want you to know that we're excited to talk to you next time. Shannon, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Shannon Farrell Photography.
And you can find me on all social media as Allie Montemayor Photography. Thanks for talking to us, y'all. Talk to you next week.
Bye.